Here's the simple test that everyone should run on themselves. Let's say the place where you live. You can be in the mountains, it can be in the city. You like walking every single day. When you have a free time, you like to go out for a walk. If you live in the mountain, you love walking or hiking 2 hours in the mountain. If you live in the city, you like spending 2 hours going on the stores, going to the mall, whatever. But after these 2 hours, you always feel that your legs are tired. You always feel that your legs hurt. This is the moment when you're gonna run the test. It's a common sense. You cannot fake it. You know how when you go on Google and you just type on the empty search box, Google gives you the most search queries, right? So if you go on Zillow and do the exact same exercise, you're going to get the most search query cities. In our case, we have most people look for Miami, New York, and Beverly Hills. So this is obviously the hottest market. Let's keep this question and let's see what actually people are looking for the most. In Miami, in particular, the hottest market and so far has seen the biggest price decrease. Some people actually delist the listings. If you watch my previous video, report from Zillow actually indicated a lot of owners who had their properties listed on the market for over 120 days. They, instead of adjusting the price on the real listing, they decided to delist the listing, send somebody, take new pictures of the listing, and then relist the property with new photos. So in this way, when you go on listing, for example, you ain't gonna see the price history and the fluctuation. So if you go down over here, right, usually you will have a chart with the story of the property price, the historic price move. It went up, it went down. You can actually see what is the market in the area. As you can see over here, the price in this particular example over here, right, we see that the price actually has come down 8.3%. And this is a property for rent, right? We have adjustment of the pricing for the property for rent, and we have adjustment of the pricing of the properties for sale as well. As you can see over here, the property was actually listed for sale and was listed for sale 46% higher, which you see there is no comparable evidence over here on the previous pricing. The public tax records since 2022, if you scroll down, if you go even lower. So the first time when this was actually established was 2007. As you can see over here, the price was 372,000. Scrolling all the way back to 2024, the property tax assessment was $480,000, which is, I would say, not a huge assessment, around $100,000. But as you can see over here, we have a tax assessment that was much lower in the years between 2008, 2009, which was between the financial crisis, which was normal. Even in 11 and 12, and even 13, the property was having a tax assessment under $200,000 all these years, as you can see over here. So this again explains how you see they start adding this 10% annual, 10% bump of the assessment of the property. 2020, this is the virus situation. The property has seen 4% decrease of the assessment. The pro take advantage of it. And then we continue with this 10% bump since 2023, 2024. So very important over here, like I mentioned, the property jumped from sale to rent. And you see what was the prior event? The listing was removed. This is exactly what I was talking to you about, right? A lot of listings are simply removed for a variety of reasons. But according to the most recent report from Zillow, most of these listings are removed from one main reason, which is usually if the property sits on the market for over 120 days, it simply looks bad. It looks like a bad deal. Probably something is wrong with the property, wrong with the actual prices, wrong with the neighborhood. Something is wrong, right? There's no demand at this price. So instead of them adjusting the price and making the price cheaper, either for sale or rent, it's still gonna see that the property has been already sitting 120 days on the market and then adds more days even on the lower price. Then when you look at the price that, let's say it was listed for rent for $5,000 a month, and then you have sitting 120 days, no one rents it out, and then the price is actually decreased to, let's say, 4,500. The price is lower, but the days are actually keep mounting. So it might be 150 days and it's 4,500, and people are getting even more scary that this might not be a good deal or something is wrong with the deal, because the price might be going lower and lower, close to the actual market price, which is a good deal. But then people look at the days on the market, they said, "Oh, this is sketchy. This is too good to be true. It looks very nice. It has sitting so many days on the market. It's impossible for other people to not scoop or take advantage of this deal." This is why the solution, like I said, according to Zillow, is that they simply delisting the listings or delisting the actual photos and properties and create a new listing. This is why when you go down on the listing that we saw, you don't have a data what was the prior information about the property. Why? Because when the listing is deleted and when the new pictures has been taken and you create a new listing without previous history on the record for Zillow, well, they simply can't extract this information and data, because when you upload the new images, the property looks different. Although the address will be the same, uh, still you don't really get to compare the previous pricing. And we can go through the details. We can look at particular neighborhoods. We can look where the price has seen major decrease, right? If you sort over here that are close by you, prices low to high. Let's go low to high. Or let's say the newest one. Let's see what are the new adjusted prices of the properties, right? Can we see something that looks unusual, right? Because these people who are listing right now, they're already familiar that the market is struggling. They're already familiar that everyone is currently repricing their properties. They're already familiar that a lot of other sellers are delisting their listings, right? So if you see something that really looks too good to be true, something looks that it really do not really add up. I've seen plenty of listings on Miami Beach. Like if you look at Miami Beach, for example, plenty of condos that were listed at it's 200, maybe 190, 220. And now if you look at the actual properties, a lot of these condos are listed for like 150, maybe $160,000. So they see maybe 20, 30, 40% of it actual discounted prices. So if you scroll down here and if you do, let's say, up to $200,000, right? Look at what I'm talking about. Look at the areas, right? Look at this 100K, 180K, right? Just zoom in and they will pop up on the side. See 180, one bed, one bath, 140, 170, and all of these. So if you click this, for example, if you scroll down, currently, you see there is a price cut that happened now in December of $5,000, right? And if we scroll down for more historic pricing, you will see definitely that this has been going places. Are we gonna get this information? Something okay. So the tax assessment much lower. Just look at this. This is okay. Let's assume after the financial crisis of 0809. Let's look at more recent files. So in just 2012, right, or 13, this was like half the price. The value of the property was half the price. Was $50,000-$60,000, right? So if you scroll down, even when I looked at the base the base tax assessment was started at around $80,000. So it's not a huge difference. You see that the condo lost 25% of its value. This is in the end of the financial crisis in 2011, which was crazy, right? But the main idea is that a lot of these small condos, one bed, one bath, or studios will be losing much more. They will see even greater price cuts. Even if we scroll down, look at this 175. So if you come over here, let's click on again one bedroom. Are we gonna see a price cut over here? There is no information about price cut. Probably this is something brand new. Just look at this. The estimate from Zillow is 176, which is usually pretty generous, right? They're selling it for 180. And also you got the HOA 391, which is still a good deal. So this is it, guys. This is how you can actually Google and try to find, use the Google metrics, the Google way of searching and extracting free information that shows you the hot areas, the hot cities, and where people are actually trying to either sell property or buy property. Use these particular settings and try to find in your area. Try to find the ones that are actually seeing price decrease, a lot of delistings of the properties, and creating a new listing for the same exact property. This will show you absolutely everything that you know and will give you the leverage for a particular seller. The first thought that will come to your mind will give you the answer. The person who isn't born to become an entrepreneur will think, you know what? Maybe I walk too much. Maybe I should walk less. Maybe my feet are not comfortable in these shoes. Maybe there is too much blood vessels or blood concentrations down the neck, the ankle. So maybe I should just walk less. On the flip side, the entrepreneur, the person who is born to be an entrepreneur, will have a completely different common sense thought. He would say, you know what? I'm not going to downsize my walks. Instead, I'm going to look and find shoes that will allow me to walk even more. What are the best, most comfortable shoes? They're going to go, they're going to Google. Versus other person who will think, you know what, I'm just going to chill. I'm going to walk less. Yeah, it's normal, you know. They will find anything that will allow them to be lazy, anything that will allow them to walk less, to stay at home, to make shorter and shorter hikes. The entrepreneur wants to be there, wants to keep doing not only the same distance, he wants to make even longer distances. And if the shoes that he's looking are not built or don't exist, he's gonna find a way to build them. He's gonna find a way to import the shoes from other countries where they probably already have some technology like this. This is the common sense. This is why I said you cannot really fake it. Because when issues erupt, the common sense start thinking, start working to resolve the issue, right? The entrepreneur decision, common sense, the first thought is, where can I find the shoes that will let me to keep walk the same distance or even more? The common sense of other person is, you know, my feet hurt, probably I walk too much. Probably they're even gonna look the how many steps they walked, and they're gonna find hundreds of different reasons to, you know, start walking less. And that's a game over for them, right? 100%, they're not gonna keep putting themselves through the pain. It's not even a second thought for these people to look about maybe buying different shoes, maybe changing the path, maybe changing the socks. You know, there's so many different things that they could adjust their strategy to maintain at least the walk. On the flip side, the common sense on the entrepreneur, it's never giving up. It's never backstepping. It's never, you know what, I'm gonna downsize the path, downsize the hike. I'm gonna walk less. You know, he's never gonna. His common sense, his first thought is to fight and persist and find solution. They don't walk back. And remember, both of these examples, both of these people are alone. They don't have to prove anything to anyone. So basically, you know, there is a quote that people are really genuine when they're sure that no one is watching. And this is what I'm trying to say, right? When you're sure that no one is watching, people are really genuinely doing what they really would do if nobody watches. So this is why the common sense, which is usually based on your previous experience, knowledge, performance, like if you fail 10 times to pass the math exam, your common sense, if further down the road in life had a math exam or questions about math, you probably will step back and let somebody else to take care, because your common sense, it's based on your previous experiences, will not let you fail again. Same thing. This is why the common sense is kind of giving you a real life, real time check who you are, what you can and cannot do. This is why this is very, very important. It's a very simple example. Like I said, every kid will understand and see the difference, right? You know, there are kids who they will go down on the playground, they will try to play soccer or whatever, they're gonna fall and they're gonna give up, right? And the kids who will continue playing, even if their knees hurt, whatever, right? It's just it's just a common sense. It's the mentality that is built inside of everyone. And if you haven't tested yourself, you have to test it and you have to find out what type of a person are you. And this hopefully will give you much clearer path where you should double down